to another episode of Sprinkle Happiness. And as you all know, on this podcast, we talk about happiness. It's not about pretending that everything is okay. It also begins with healing. I have a special guest today, a former combat veteran. He is a speaker, he is a trainer, and he turned one of his hardest battles into his mission. So let's welcome David. David, hi, David.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. And thank you so much for joining us today. And I was really looking forward to our conversation because I know there are many people out there that love to know what you're doing and they actually need what you're doing.
Absolutely. I love sharing this mission that I'm working on. I'm really excited to share it with you and your audience. So thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
It's absolutely an honor. I'd love to just quickly and very briefly go into your journey. I'm always interested in
Mm.
hearing my guest life's journey. Your journey wasn't easy, but it made you to the person you are today, and it helped you with so many tools that now you can use to help others. You want to share a bit about your life journey?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you just kind of frame that. It's like everybody's journey has brought you to where you are here today. And my journey is no different. Like I got asked by someone the other day, like, kind of when did you start this journey? And the way that I view it is, you know what? I've been on this journey my entire life. My entire life
Mhm.
has brought me to right where I am today, connecting and working with, members of our military, our armed forces, and really helping them to overcome kind of their inner demons, their darkness, their trauma. Veterans don't like the word trauma, but that's really kind of their experiences from their military service that may still be with them and is really hurting them and their families. So my mission is all about helping them achieve that level of freedom. And my journey started out, myself, I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps 2005. Shortly after 9/11 happened, I was actually going to become a minister for my church, right? It was totally different
Oh,
lifestyle. And then
yes.
9/11 happened and I thought, you know what? I got to do something different because freedom isn't
Mhm.
free. Our nation has been attacked, and it's my duty to protect our freedoms that we have. So, like this freedom kind of message has been a very common theme for me in my entire life, protecting and serving and helping maintain that freedom. And so I
Yes.
went into the Marines, and I was a rifleman. I was in the infantry, right? So we were
Mhm.
kind of, so to speak, in the front line, so to speak, on different things. And when I got back, I was in Iraq a couple of times. And when I got back, I was not the same. Right. And I didn't really realize the impact that my combat tours had on me. Right. I mean, I was not doing good. You know what I mean? And it was a big challenge for me. I had significant severe PTSD. Right. I
Mhm.
mean, we're talking all the diagnoses. The VA gave me all this medication, bottles and bottles and bottles of
Oh my
pills,
gosh.
just really sedating me. I'd even feel like myself. Uh, I mean, I had intense hypervigilance, nightmares, acts. I mean, I would hear weapons loading. I mean, it was intense. It was really intense. Here's the thing is that I didn't think I even had PTSD. I was like, oh, this is just what happens to everybody.
Yeah, it's
Right.
human. Yes, we wash it off sometimes as if it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. And it didn't even occur to me because my colonel ordered me into PTSD treatment. And it still didn't occur to me that I really had anything going on. I mean, that is the level of where things become normal to people. Right. And it just like your everyday becomes kind of like your standard and just kind of what you become accustomed to. And
Mhm.
the symptoms that I were battling with every single day, again, was very normal to me. And it really went on. I battled PTSD for
Are you
15
serious?
years. I fought this 5 years. I was in intensive treatment from, about 2018 to 2023, maybe a little bit past that. And I was in therapy twice a week. I was in the hospital twice. And basically, I mean, I was battling everything. In about 2023, I kind of got to my breaking point. Like, I am done with this. I cannot continue to fight this because it wasn't getting any better. Standard
Yeah.
therapy and all the medications wasn't doing anything for me, right? The medications were just numbing me. It did not heal me. The therapy was teaching me how to cope and manage and was not healing, right? I was just kind
Mhm.
of continuing on. And so I finally You appreciate this. I went to a Tony Robbins event, and at the
Mm.
Tony Robbins event was like my last shot. It was my last shot, right? And so at this event, I learned everything that led to the creation of the system that I've now created. I created a system based on what I learned to not just cope with PTSD, but to annihilate it, to really
Yeah,
remove it from the system, remove it from the nervous system. So what used to traumatize you is now the source of pride,
yeah,
purpose, direction, empowerment. And I've done that. And I've created, and that's where it led to the creation of Mission Freedom so that veterans can really live free and can really live empowered lives as opposed to what they're told, which is this now who you are. That's what veterans are told. This is now who you are. This is welcome to the rest of your life. That method out, that mindset is what is responsible for the deaths of thousands of veterans due to suicide. And it just that's what I'm battling against. I'm fighting to change the system to really get true freedom for our nation's war heroes. And that's really my calling and my mission.
I really admire the fire in you because you can't lead somebody through it if you haven't been there yourself.
Mm,
Hence the title of your book, Mission Freedom. I really, really love it. And you say you came back as a totally different man. I'd love
mm.
to just know, how did that look like for you
That
from
is a great question.
that to being back into the
Yeah.
civilian life?
Yeah. Well, there's actually 2 different periods of time. So veterans, when they're on active duty, it's kinda like the big cover up. You see what I'm saying? Because you're with the guys, you're with your unit, you've got that mission, you know what I mean? And so it kind of masks, what's
Yeah.
going on, which is I was no different. So when I got back though, I mean, I was constantly on alert. I mean, I had severe anxiety and
Mhm.
all these other things. It wasn't until I got out though that I started to have the flashbacks and the nightmares and all that kind of stuff. So it was really interesting what occurred there. And so, but when I was in, I mean, I had weapons in every room of my house.
Oh, wow.
I was patrolling the outside of my house with a loaded 40 caliber pistol, looking for an assailant, an insurgent, which was never there. Right. So I mean, it was like this intense fear, right? Or paranoia, right? That was really ongoing every single night, and it really impacted every area of my life with my family and kids. I had young children. I started having children when 2012. But once I got out, it really felt like the wheels fell off. Right? I wasn't. It was very difficult for me to function. So um, and so I accepted a lot of labels, and I was labeled the
Yeah.
broken veteran, and this became my identity. So you can imagine the
Mhm.
impact of internalizing the label of being broken and what that would do to your psychology, which that's for sure what happened to me.
It's just unbelievable. All these years of therapy and drugs, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't
It
work on
doesn't work.
anybody. For some people it may, but you remind me of the term that we use, and I love that in psychology is the post-traumatic growth. You
Mm,
actually turned PTSD into a post-traumatic growth. And
yep,
you did that. You have figured it out. And your mission now is to help other soldiers, combat veterans to have a normal life after they
that's right.
retire, come back home, right? How do
Mm,
you do that? What's your
yeah.
secret?
If you take all of your pain and you transform that into your greatest blessing and your greatest gift, the greatest gift in your entire life, if that is what you used to determine as your worst day, if your worst day is now your best day, what would that do to your life? What would that do for your family if you now truly believed that your quote unquote worst day is now your best day? And that the
Mm,
PTSD that you used to experience, those symptoms or whatever, is now a blessing to you. So you can be
mm,
empowered and you actually truly change the meaning from the pain into power. You've just completely transformed your life. You've now have completely rewired your nervous system to now be appreciative and joyful and grateful. Right now, that doesn't come easily. Obviously, it takes some work, right? Which
yes.
we can, I could give you some, examples on that if you like. But that is the secret. The secret is transforming the association that is in here.
Mhm,
We're talking your nervous system, not up here, right? You got to
mhm.
transform your condition to relate that to or connect that to. When you connect that now to a source of direction and fulfillment, it literally will transform your life. And that's what I did for myself and what I teach other veterans to do across the country. So that's where the real true power is.
It's so powerful. I find it so powerful. You are literally saving lives
Mm,
by doing this,
I
David,
appreciate that. Thank
because
you.
you've been there and you've done that. But where do people who are hurting right now, where do they even begin? Who are sucked into the system of traditional therapy or going in and out, doing
Mhm.
the best they can to get out of it. Where do they even begin? How did you start?
Yeah. I mean, it really, I think this is how I describe it to people who are like, David, how do I begin? Because people are coming to me, that are victims of domestic violence or abuse or just all these other various traumatic things. And they're like, David, you work with trauma for veterans. Can your system help me too? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like the system that I've developed, while obviously incredibly effective for eliminating PTSD from veterans. It can eliminate
Yeah.
PTSD or trauma or any type of negative association or really just unleashing yourself for all walks of life with really anything. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I
Yeah.
work with men that are not veterans. David, I want to just truly unleash my power and unleash my warrior and just really, go to the next
Mhm.
level. I'm helping them too. So I mean, it's the system really works in a lot of different ways, right? It's really, really phenomenal. But basically, here's what I would say is the start. The starting point is a simple decision. It's a decision,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes, the
Yes.
decision of
I
I'm not going to
totally agree.
tolerate this anymore. I need to
Not
do
one more
something different.
day.
Yes.
Wow.
Once you've made that decision, you've drawn the line in the sand that I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'm not willing to live like this anymore. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to stay here anymore. I'm going to move in some direction. I'm going to move forward in some direction. I'm not going back. I'm going forward. That decision and locking that into your system will transform your life and it'll move you forward. And then from that point on, you're like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, right? And
Mhm.
that's what happened to me in 2023 before I went to the Tony Robbins event. I'm like, I can't continue this way. Now, obviously, I was battling with a lot of different things, but I was like, I'm not going to stay here anymore. This is not working for me, and I must change
Mhm.
this, right? So that decision led me to do something that I never would have conceived doing before, which is going to a Tony Robbins event. We're
Yes.
talking
Did somebody drag you there? How
my
did you choose this?
my wife helped me with that. Yeah, my wife helped me with that. But, I mean, think about it. Like, I've got hypervigilance, I've got all these other things, and I'm willing to go to a stadium full of 12,000 people. That's because of the
Yes.
decision that I made. I'm not willing to tolerate this crap anymore. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do something. So that's step number one.
I love it. Your work and my work is so aligned. I'm in the
It
field
is.
of, also training and speaking and happiness. And we can't find joy in day-to-day life and meaning in life if we're hurting.
Mm,
So that's what you're helping with is helping our soldiers and veterans to heal on the inside so they can actually move forward. It kind
absolutely.
of makes you kind of feel like you're stuck. So
Mm,
how do you move forward when you feel like you are absolutely stuck?
mm.
It can be PTSD, it can be another trauma, it can be anxiety or depression. Something happens on the outside that totally messes up how we feel on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Mhm.
I'll actually give you an example of how to get like stuck. It really comes down to changing your state, changing your focus. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Literally yesterday, I was talking to one of my coaches and I was feeling very dissatisfied with the progress I've made. Right. And so started to feel literally depressed after the call. I was like, I'm not doing enough. Things aren't happening enough. I felt depressed. Right. Not that I was depressed. I'm not putting that on myself, but I felt depressive symptoms. Right. That kind of stuff. Very
Mhm.
dissatisfied, very conflicted. And I was like, you know what? The reason for this is because of the focus and the meaning that I gave to our conversation. The meaning
Yeah.
that I gave to it was that I wasn't doing enough. And I was focusing on what I haven't done, right? The gap, not the gain. And so then what I
Oh,
did is
yeah.
like, number one, I'm changing my state. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to accept this depressive symptoms. I'm getting this out of my body. I declared it. I decided. And then I went to the gym and I did all kinds of power movements and stuff to really get a ton of masculine testosterone, masculine energy into my body, which annihilated the PTSD. There's no way you're feeling depressed if you are attacking it viciously like how I did it. There's different things to do that with,
Oh,
right?
yes.
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 Yep. And then I changed my focus. So then instead of focusing on what I haven't accomplished, I then focus on what I have accomplished in a very short period of time, which has been immense. And when I started focusing on that, it literally changed my state from lack to holy crap, I've accomplished a lot. I'm feeling very, very proud of what I've done. I'm feeling accomplished. This entire process that I went through annihilated the disempowering sensation and kind of feelings. Not I wouldn't say a belief, but it was kind of a thought process that I was having, and then transformed it to power, direction, and gratitude. That's an
Mm.
example of how to get unstuck.
Oh, I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. We talk in the Tony world about the triad. It's your
Mhm.
physiology,
Yep.
it's the meaning, your language, your focus. It's all of that. It's
Yep.
all of that. And you can change that. How fast?
Yep.
Like
So
in an
that.
instant. But it
Yep.
probably wasn't that easy,
Mm.
David. Like going to a Tony event is like 3 to 5 days. We go
Yeah.
back home. We go back home and the energy slowly starts drifting back into our because we go back into our homeostasis. We go back to our
Mm.
comfort. We go back into what is known.
Yep.
And and
Absolutely.
I think the key is making that decision every single day.
Yeah.
Making it just one time is not going to cut it.
Yeah. Actually, I'll add to that. I'll add to that. Yes, it's making that daily decision, but it's also reinforcing whenever you step into that like a state of
Mhm.
power. Like all my clients, one of the first resources that I teach them is a state of certainty and basically power and strength, right? So we either access something that they've like a time of their life when they felt that way, or we create it for them so they could step into that certainty. And then you need to condition that into your system so you can actually start operating that as your new baseline, right? We're not going to return to that depressive, anxious, all that other state, right? We're going to maintain a new baseline for ourselves. And then you need to reward yourself. You literally condition your system to love the state of direction, certainty, power, focus, whatever it is. For yourself, no one would
Mhm.
have to teach you or tell you to step into this happy, kind of
Mhm.
joyful, free flow state. That is your baseline, right? How hard would it be for you to not be in that baseline? The reason why you're in that baseline is because you've conditioned it, you've rewarded it, and you've wired yourself to do that.
Mhm.
So that is what people need to do. And that's what I teach my clients to do. The various
Yeah.
people that I work with is we're going to set a new baseline and a new standard. Now, how do you do that? It's actually a lot easier than you think. Anytime you step into that certainty, which you can call it forth with the triad, and there's a lot of techniques to do that. You put yourself in a state of certainty, and then you're going to reinforce it like heck. I mean, we're talking celebrating. Like I celebrate like a little kid. Like I
Yeah.
just got a PlayStation or something, right? Reinforce it. Your body and your system will love that dopamine being pumped in your system, that neurochemical, the feel good drug, right? The natural feel good drug. And if you do this every single time you make progress or you step into certainty or that thing you're trying to condition, you celebrate it like crazy, like you're doing all this stuff, you're yelling, you're doing this stuff, your body will love it. And it'll start to say, you know what? I want to feel like that more. And on an unconscious level, you're going to start to wire yourself. So that is now your new baseline because your body won't have it any other way. So that's a great
Yes.
way, easy way, and fun. And fun.
Oh,
I do it
yes,
for
but
myself. You know what I mean? Like,
consistency is the
yeah.
key. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, you gotta repeatedly do it. That's the beauty of neuroplasticity. Your brain can
Mhm.
change at any age, but it's not gonna
Yep.
change just by doing it one time. You gotta reinforce it, fire it
Yep.
over and over every single day to create a new neural pathway. And I
Mhm.
love that you mentioned celebrate
Mhm.
because can be so hard on ourselves, David.
Mm.
We sometimes don't acknowledge our accomplishment all the time. Oh my gosh, I have so much to celebrate. But where does my focus go? I'm human too. I
Yeah.
focus on what I couldn't do and I didn't do. I'm like, oh, you could have done better. You could have,
Mhm.
oh, and what did happen? It just completely ruins today.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
gain anything
yeah.
out of that, do you?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I would actually add even one more thing. When you're celebrating, when I celebrate, I do incantations and I also start doing like identity statements. What am I talking about when I say that? Just for anyone that's not familiar, I start saying, this is who I am. This is what I do. I love this. And I'm going to do this all day, every day. This is now me. I am this way, right? When you create it to be a part of your identity, your entire system is going to soak it up like a sponge because one of the most powerful forces, as you know, in the human psychology is to stay consistent with how you define yourself. So when you define yourself intentionally, like I am this way, this is what I do. I don't feel depressed. That's useless to me. I live in strength, power, direction. This is who I am. This is what I do all day, every day. And you celebrate like that,
Oh, I
you're just
love it. This is who I
magnifying the
am.
power.
Yes, nice. I love doing the things that really juices you, that doesn't feel like work. It was really important to me that I do things that really is aligned with my
Yep.
with my true self. It feels
Mhm.
authentic. It feels natural. It is my element. I don't have to, and I have the privilege to do it. I want to. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, what a privilege to be here and talk to you right now. I don't have to do this. I don't get paid to do this, but I love it. I love it because I get to share all my your mission and all my guest mission with our audience, with our listeners, and they get something out of it, and it stays with them. It
Mhm.
stays with them. They
There you
sprinkle it
go.
forward. They sprinkle it forward in their own environment, in their own families. Oh my gosh, this is what
Mhm.
happened. And there is a way. If anybody's out there is hurting, everybody, it's just there is always a way. You just have to say yes to yourself and look for the
Absolutely.
help. And David is right here and reaching out to all everybody is hurting, all our soldiers, all our veterans. David, tell
Mm.
us a bit more about your book. What are you sharing in your book? Where do they find it? Where do they find you? And
Mm.
how can they get more from you if they want to book you as a speaker,
Yeah.
as a trainer?
Yeah, absolutely. No, great question. Well, Mission Freedom is the battle plan for annihilating PTSD, right? I mean, it is just step by step. I've got exercises, I've got resources linked to it. I got all these templates and scripts and just everything you need to completely rewire yourself, change your life forever, eliminate what you used to think is a part of who you are and you can't change and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to help you destroy that and rewire yourself, rewrite your life, reclaim true control of the freedom that you deserve, right? And no matter where the trauma came from, no matter if even if it's not trauma, you're just dealing with anxiety or depression that you've been battling for a long time. It's time to get rid of that stuff. Submission freedom is all about that. It is written for veterans, for our nation's heroes, but there's
Mhm.
it will help anybody dealing with things that, maybe are kind of lingering and that kind of stuff. So it's on Amazon. You can look it up. It's right there. You can also connect with me online. My website is warriorsawakening.com. I got tons of resources and all kinds of
Mhm.
stuff there. That's all free. You can get it. You can download it. And, I got one thing on there that you don't even have to put in an email for it. Just go ahead and just click download. It's right there. Right. I'm online on
Yes,
social media as well. Mission.freedom.0311. I do all kinds of training events. I can speak to your group if you want, or I do one-on-one coaching, all that kind of stuff. So really like to try and make the most impact I can. Yeah.
that is awesome. Thanks for sharing, David. So, what are you up to? What's next for you?
Oh,
What are you
honestly,
working on right now?
yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Great question. I'm gonna tell you my long term game plan here because I think that will really kind of give you that insight.
Yeah,
Like I mentioned earlier, I'm looking to change the broken system in our country for our veterans. Right, to like the suicide epidemic it's just crazy. Right, so my
that's
long
right.
term plan is to get the Mission Freedom system adopted by all active military branches. Right, well, I mean, any military branch doesn't be active, like, inactive, that whatever, reserves and kind of thing. All military branches need this system. And so my goal, mark my words, in 10 years, I'm going to be presenting this before Congress. It's going to be adopted and approved by the DOD or DOWAR or whatever it's called at the time, right? It's going to be
Yeah,
taught. Our military guys need to be trained on PTSD before they deploy and after they come back before they're even a veteran. When I was talking with a ranger, in case you don't know what rangers are, they're special forces in the army. And I was talking to the special forces guy and he was holding my book and it was so beautiful. He said, David, I had this when I was in the Rangers. I would not have had PTSD. I would not have battled with PTSD for years. That almost killed him. Like that was just so empowering for me. The active duty guys need this. That's my mission. I'm gonna be before
I
Congress, going to get
love it.
approved of, and it's going to save lives. So that's what I'm working on right now.
It's so important now that you're mentioning it, just makes total sense that you have the tools before it even happens. You
Mm,
can prevent it from happening. You kind
mhm.
of start looking for the warning sign before it escalates, right?
Yes.
It's just preps you for the road ahead and you just take precaution. It's
Hmm.
it's beautiful. I really celebrate you. I
Well, thank
celebrate
you.
your mission and I do really look forward to seeing that approval.
That's right.
It's done with your commitment and your passion to contribute and save because you've been there, done that. I know it's gonna happen. It's done.
Yep, it will occur. It's only a matter of time. Our nation's heroes need it. They deserve it. They deserve better. And I'm gonna, consider me to be their advocate for our for our heroes so we can fix this broken system. And hey, if I can help a few million people along the way that aren't veterans and all that stuff, then even better, right? So that's the
Yes.
long-term mission for me.
Yes, I don't think you would turn away anybody, David. You just have this huge heart because otherwise you wouldn't do it. Your mission tells a lot about you too.
Oh,
So
thank you.
thank you. Thank you for everything that you do. And thank you for joining me today.
Yes.
Really, really
Totally.
the honor that you joined me and sprinkled your happiness to everybody that needs to hear this.
Sprinkle.
All right.
Absolutely.
Let's
Absolutely. Thank you.
sprinkle it. See you next week on another episode. Take care, everybody.